wealth workshop, where this month at the Life Church, we delve into finances to make sure that we're on track and doing those things that God has empowered us to do to be a blessing to the kingdom. And I want to start off with a prayer. Thank you, Holy Ghost, for this day. Thank you for gathering us, your people, God, the ones that you have chosen, God, to place in your kingdom for such a time as this, God. Thank you for your wisdom, your knowledge and understanding, God, that you give us, God, to be good stewards over the finances that you have blessed us with, God. Help us, God, to bring glory to your name, Lord, and establish your kingdom here on earth, God, as we walk out our destiny and purpose, God, with the wealth that's in our hand, God. Let us take dominion, subdue, multiply, be fruitful in all that we set out to do, God. And we ask all of these things, God, in your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So we are the financial strategist. Pastor Thomas Jones and we actually been teaching on finances together since 2006, I believe, somewhere up in there. And the reason why we started teaching on finances, because at the time he was working at a place where people was coming in and just borrowing money for things that really, they probably should have had put some money away for, to have. And so with that, and then also, did anybody grow up with their parents talking about finances? No, right. So we all grew up in that era where we just had to figure things out, right? And so I thank God that he pretty much put me and Thomas together, because we both had a passion for people who basically just were struggling, with their money and wanted to do those things that they needed to do. And so that's where we come into play, and we have been a blessing. And we actually have our motto: we want to help 1 million families to have the financial stewardship that they set out to have. And so those are the things, that's why we're doing what we're doing here. I'm going to turn over to Thomas Jones here so that he can go into what we're going to be covering on today.
Okay. I don't need it.
Oh.
All right. So we're going to get started, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today, with anything, it's the foundation. We started teaching on finance because we realized, and I'll show you a little later on the slide, that all of us are getting older, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we are preparing ourselves for retirement, all right? And so we have these services. We've been doing this. I started the agency itself in 2012, but I've been doing insurance since 96, I believe. So I'm over 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we want to help people. Now today, so I want to clarify some things when we say we want to help you. All right? That don't mean that we're going to run you down to help you, right?
Mm-hmm.
At some point in our journey, it's got to click on us, right? And so that's our prayer, that the Lord will that click on you, because at 65 it's too late to start trying to save for retirement.
Right.
Okay. And we'll talk a little bit about Social Security and how that plays into it as well too. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the next slide really quickly. This is why we try to educate young people. We used to do business to business, and we're coming to businesses and we share pretty much the same information to get people to understand we are back now, getting back into the groove, and we're going to be taking this on the road again to different churches, and because that's always been my passion, to help those who of faith, because a lot of times we can get into that mode, you know, that the Lord is going to work it out, and He is, and He will, but He's only going to work out what you got. Okay, so we want to be prepared, and we want to be good stewards. So what's going to happen today? We're going to lay the foundation today. The foundation today is everything that you're going to need to be successful. Then next week we'll talk about retirement and those type of things, and then and how, believe it or not, insurance plays into your retirement. And then the fourth Saturday we're going to get into wills and tax deeds and those type of things to help those who are ready to invest into themselves and show you where to go to be able to take advantage of those things, and how teamwork, you know, come together. You know, there have been times where I saw a cheap deal, you know, for $3,000-4,000, and I said, man, I could put $2,000. And so I'll go over to one of my buddies that I know and say, man, let's go in on this deal. You know, this deal can at least get us our money back and then a little profit, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So that's going to be the agenda. This week here is the foundation. Today, each one of you will get an email from me. And in that email, how many of you registered? Did you register? You registered?
I put her as my.
You put her as your team? Did you register? Okay, so we got to make sure that we get an email address, so that when I send that to you, then that's going to be,
I'll get it later.
that's going to be the work. That's going to start the work, right? So how many of you guys look in the mirror every day? Right? So we look in the mirror each and every day and we see ourselves. But here's the thing that we don't want to see. We don't want to see our financial picture, right? But we got to. Okay, we got to see where we're at and then see where we're going. Okay? So we talked a little bit about why we do what we do. Okay? Now, when we started this journey, I want y'all to look up at the screen for me. When we started this journey in 2033, when we started this journey, teaching on this finance, that was 17 years. Terry, you can take me to the next slide, please. So that was 17 years ago when we started. Where are we at now? 9 years, 2033, okay, 9 years from now, there will be more Americans 65 years and older.
Who would that be coming from?
Yes, is this true?
Yeah.
Is that statement true?
Yes, I'm old.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not
That statement is true.
prepared.
So,
15 years ago.
and that is a fact that this is going to happen. Now let's break this down. In Duval County alone, nearly 1 in every 5 residents is age 60 or older. I can look at my neighborhood. All of my neighbors is over 60. I can look down the street. Right? Watch this. Duval County has the highest poverty rate amongst all the counties. Nassau County, Putnam County, all the counties, St. John County. So, let me ask you this question. Can you live off of $13.41 a month?
He's from the youngsters.
Yeah, live off of
Mm.
Yeah, $1,340.
Currently today.
Yeah, currently today. So give me off of them. I'm bad, I did my figures wrong. You gotta subtract Medicare, 168 out of that. So let's think about $1,100, right? So can you survive off of $1,100 today? Just the thought of that, right?
Right.
So the thought of that, and not only that, you are hearing, that the wealth is coming to the women, right? So why are the wealth coming to you guys? Have you thought about that? So here's what that means, right? Women outlive men. So everything that y'all have built is coming to you now. It's going to come into your hand. So that's going to be the wealth that is going to be coming to you, right? But you got to also be able to handle that wealth, right? Now that wealth just don't appear. That means that through investments and through life insurance and through other means, typically men die before women, and so you would so that much. So what we have been saying and been trying to warn people for over 17 years, that the civil tsunami is coming.
Right.
It is coming. You remember when that first tsunami came and that water just came out of it says it came from nowhere. Well, that's what's happening. And it's not coming from nowhere. We know it's gonna happen, so we gotta get prepared for it.
And basically, the silver tsunami is when those 65 and older are going to outnumber those 18 and under for the first time in history. So we're going to have people 65 and older than ever. Is history going to be made?
Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah. And it's gonna happen.
That's right.
It's gonna happen. So the data tells us that it's gonna happen.
Right.
Right? So what do we do about it? We gotta get prepared, right? So we gotta start laying the foundation, and when we gotta start laying the foundation?
Now.
Right now. See, when you think that you got it all together, two couples, watch this, working and they making money, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got all the entrepreneurs around the world and everybody's making money. But here's I've been around this game a long time. So when you don't put money aside, okay, and you just living off of it, or you rely on your job, right? To say, hey, I'm putting 1 or 2%. Your 1 or 2% ain't gonna cut it. Because the older you get, the more you gotta save now. Right? So when we knew that Terry wanted to retire, we couldn't put 3% no more, like you over 50. So we had to start putting 12%, 15% into our retirement vehicle, right? Into the 401k, into the annuity. So you had to start putting that money aside, because you got to look at the data, no different than, the Lord said, I'm gonna come back one day, and both say, oh, you ain't coming back. Well, history tells us that what he says, he gonna do it.
You're not going to miss that money anyway.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, you ain't
gonna
going to miss it. Right.
The Lord, there have been times when we have been short on money. Take to the next slide. And some kind of way, you'll sell a pillar, some kind of way, something would happen, a deal would happen, the Lord always takes care of us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing that we got to do. This is what we've talked a little bit about this. This is called financial psychology, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to take you from the pre-contemplating stage to the termination stage, right? So what is the pre-contemplating stage you think it is? What is that? What do you think?
Thinking about it.
Just that's all you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
You got no intent on moving past that, right? So many people, they'll get the information or they'll say to me, oh, when you have it, what difference does it make when I'm having the next financial class? Right? You ain't gonna do what we tell you to do. So what difference does it make? But here's what we got to do. We got to help you, right? It's almost like in church where we got to take these young learners and we got to turn them into disciples. So here's the stage. We got to take you from that contemplating stage, that pre-contemplating stage, to that contemplating stage. And that contemplating stage says, now, I recognize my behavior is simply problematic. In other words, I can change some things, right? There are some things that I can change that can help me financially. And then you go into that preparation stage. Guess what happened at that stage? You finally start looking through your things and finding your bank statements and stuff. You finally start doing something, right? And so now we take you from that preparation stage to that action stage, right? So you start, you do even the email me and say, hey, I think we need to meet, right? And then you go to that maintenance stage. You know, that maintenance stage says, you know what? I've been around this circle too long. I've been saying I'm gonna do this. I've been saying I'm gonna do that. But I've been around this stage a little too long, and it's time for me to change, right? It's time for me to go forward. And so we finally get to that termination stage. And that termination stage simply says, I am ready. I'm no longer going to procrastinate. I am going to move forward in my finances, right? And so it all starts with, believe it or not, the power of a pen and paper. Today we're going to give you that power. We're going to give you the paper. All you got to do is provide the pen, right? And you start writing those things down, writing those things out. When you go to your doctor, right? Do you hide really what's wrong with you? You say, how you feeling? I ain't feeling good. Well, you heard that. I got my hand on the side. Well, in finance, it's the same way. I've had to disclose where I'm at so that I can get to where I want to go.
Right.
And so we're going to do that for you today, but it's going to be homework for you to prepare. Because once you do it, it's almost like this. If you hide something, then how can you get free from it? But if you just expose it, it'll release you. Yeah, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm talking about you could be good financially, but you'll get to a period somewhere down the line where you don't got yourself entangled back into debt again. And so now you got to get yourself back out of debt again, right? So these, what we call financial psychology. This is where we know sometimes when we're sitting down with people where they act based upon their own action.
Right.
Okay? Any questions so far? All right. So let's talk about this for a second. Breaking the what? Spirit of what? Average. And how do we break the spirit of average? Number one, we got to do what? We've got to adapt a positive attitude. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Right? Last week, the preacher says, "Man, I'm so tired." I said, "Not me." He said, "I like your attitude. It is so positive." Well, hopefully that'll rub off on you, right?
Right.
Because I'm trying to keep that from rubbing off on me.
I know
So that
that's
I
right.
ain't now tired.
Right.
You know, I am grateful. So you first thing you got to do, you got to adopt a positive attitude. Okay, and where this information comes from, I love this book by Joseph D. Washington. He shared some of these things on here, breaking the spirit of average. When you start putting your stuff together and you start writing down your financial goals and stuff, number two says now you value your time, right? Because you got to value your time. Because when you value your time, guess who else time you'll value? That's right, you'll value my time. So when you set a consultation, then we know because we value one another's time and we're not going to waste one another's time, right?
Right.
Because we're trying to get to a place where we're not at yet financially. And that's what drives me to getting back to the basics today of laying down the foundation. How many of you got a budget? Something you got to wrote down.
All right.
Because if you write it down, what can happen?
Can happen.
No, if you write it down, what can happen?
Can run with it.
You have a visual, like you see it.
That's right. Not only that, somebody else can see it, right? So if somebody else can see it, now they can help you, right? Run with it, right? So, number three, the third thing you got to do is you got to enlist help of a mentor. Okay? Not talking about somebody you pick off TV. Okay, come on, your mentor that's sitting right in front of you. Those of us who have been in this game for 20, 25 years, who can help you to enlist the help of a mentor. Why do you need a mentor?
Because we don't got all the answers. Because we don't ourselves don't have all the answers.
That too. What else?
Hold your accountable.
Hold you accountable. You know, I got two of them like a lioness on a willoughby right now. Well, I'll get off me. But they'll help push you
Right.
to where you're trying to go. They'll help. That's what a mentor does. A mentor just help push you, help say, hey, listen, do this, do that. Have you thought about this? No, I haven't thought about that. Right. I was talking to a young couple before they got married, and I says, well, y'all going to start your investment now? Investment. Y'all going to get y'all life insurance together? We need that. Well, yeah, you're about to say I do. In case something happens to one another, what you gonna do? So all these things, that's why you enlist the help of a mentor. And then number 4, what do you do? Man, you gotta read. You gotta read not where you're at, but where you're trying to go. You gotta read financial books. You gotta start things. Whatever what you're trying to do, you gotta read it. So I don't just study the Bible, I have to also read other literatures, right? So in finance, I look at different companies to see what different companies are doing, what they're offering, and those type of things. You got to read. Now, once you start on your journey today, read number 5.
Anticipate.
Why you have to anticipate opposition?
Stuff gonna happen.
That's a nice word. Listen, stuff gonna happen.
Right.
And it's gonna happen to try to get you off of your journey.
Mhm.
And if you ain't careful, you will get off the journey.
And sometimes it's just simple things like the plumbing, like
Mhm.
the roof with the hurricane. I mean, just a simple thing you don't even think about at the moment, but that's an opposition.
That's
Not
an
just
opposition.
so different things, the purse with stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
yeah.
Like unexpected.
Yeah.
They ain't time when I come. You know. So we want to prepare for all of these things. Because opposition will come. And you're right, it's not just people coming and say, you know what, Auntie, I never asked you for the name and that. So, but it's things, man, it's things, things,
So,
you know.
Yeah.
Like a tree and all type of stuff, it just comes. But we got to expect it. Watch this, if we expect it, then it don't get us off of tilt.
That's planning for it, like we got
right.
planned for it in
Right.
case.
Right.
Yes, money aside.
Yeah, that's right, called emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But it is the power of a pen and piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Then number 6 says, what you gotta do? You got to guard your goals. What are you trying to do? What you trying to accomplish? You got to guard that thing, right? You got to protect it, because if you don't protect it, then before you know it, your goals are going out the window.
Mm-hmm.
You have stopped doing what you were doing to become financially successful. So you have stopped doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to guard your goals, because those oppositions are going to come and knock on it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then number 7, what you got to do?
Empower
Empower your belief system.
Mm-hmm.
You got to trust in the Lord more than you ever have done before. Can I say this to y'all?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be successful, it takes courage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to go against the grain. You got to go against family. Sometimes you got to go against systems. Success don't just happen.
Right.
Success is intentional.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been feeling down and discouraged, and you start talking to yourself?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, you gonna make it. You gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a thought to come into your head, and it was let's just say, it was a negative thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you accepted it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
No. What you gotta do with that thought is cast that thought away and say, no. The good is coming from this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the good is gonna come from my action. The Lord has me. You got to encourage yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to have success in 2025, we gotta stop doing what? 2024 rituals, those things that are keeping us from being successful,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the next slide. Financial issues are a major source of conflict amongst couples. Is that true?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is. So it says a lack of savings,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Too much debt,
Mm-hmm.
followed by overspending,
Mm-hmm.
not enough income, no investments
Mhm.
or no investing,
Mhm.
can that cause a problem into the household?
Yeah,
Yeah. Your money and my money.
yep.
Pretty soon they both gonna go out the door and
Mhm.
then ain't nobody got no money.
Mhm.
Right. Because there's no accountability
Right.
as you coming together with, Terry and I got beat over this over the years of saying the couples should bring their money together because you plan on living together, right? You plan on, when the good things happen, you'll be surprised that if you bring things together under one umbrella
Mhm.
and begin to take care of the household and things of that nature, you would be surprised how much more money and most freedom that you have left over.
Mm.
Not everybody is in that thing together,
Right.
right? The next slide for me, Terry. Let me ask you this question. Why ain't you more involved in the management of your long-term investment?
Hmm.
How many of you guys really look at yourself? You look at yourself.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Because especially if there's like a change, if it's $10 or $100 or, because a lot of times the military kind of like, if we have military clothing allowance or like if we have an SRP, there'll be an increase, but sometimes I'm just like going through the flow and then I'll see the difference and then I go and check it. So I'll check it like every other month. I'll just look into it because a lot of times what's coming out may change. My BAH amount will change and it'll look the same on my how much I'm getting paid, but they're counteracting it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mhm.
You want to look at that, right?
Yeah.
You want to be a part of that.
Mhm.
Right. You got to be a part of your long-term investment. Even the military now, they have changed the way retirees get paid now. So Congress passed that years ago. So now when you retire after 20 years, guess what you get? Guess what you do not get anymore?
Mhm.
Is it the VRS?
You don't get that retirement anymore.
Oh.
So now when you retire, you get a certain percentage of your base rate income, right? Well, you don't get that no more. So they put, just like with any law that is passed at a designated set time, everybody that will be coming into the military now won't get. So you can have a 17-year-old who do 20 years or 25 years and now they're 40 and they get their retirement. That's gone.
That's the
Them
same
days-
thing in corporate America. There's
them
no
days
pension anymore for new people. There's no pension plan.
So
It's on you.
So those days are gone.
Right.
Right. So what they've done now is everybody that comes in get through boot camp. Now the military has they have opened up a retirement. So they're gonna put, I think, either 1 to 3% into the retirement now. And then it's up to
Mhm.
each individual if they want to add more.
Mhm.
But you would no longer
Right.
get a retirement until, just like the rest of us,
Mhm.
after 59 and a half years old. Okay? That's it.
Mhm.
So that was passed 8 years ago, but there's a day and time where where that law is gonna come to an effect. Right?
Mhm.
So it's gonna happen.
Right.
Right? So you gotta prepare yourself for the change. So you got to be involved in the management long-term finance. Say for instance, like the company that you may work for may have a 401k, right?
Mhm.
But it ain't gonna do you no good if they ain't put money into it, right?
Right.
Now, it ain't gonna do you no good if you ain't putting the right amount of money
Right.
So that number has to change as you get older.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't believe the amount of people that called me who would say, hey, I'm getting ready to retire, and I just realized my company says, I can't take my life insurance with me. So now I'm 65. I got diabetes, I got high blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm 65, and I ain't got no insurance. I got no life insurance. So I said, well, I can get some life insurance. It's gonna be expensive. So when I tell you that it's $282, what? Well, woman, you 65 years old.
Right.
Your mortality rate is already on pass.
That's right. You got about 20 more years.
If that.
I know.
I have a question. You said, they won't let him take his life insurance, what do you mean?
So companies, when you work for companies, they give you benefits,
Mm-hmm.
right? Part of your benefits is life insurance. That is a group policy.
Right.
So if it's group, then it's a pretty cheap policy.
Right.
Where you can get, I don't know, you maybe get 1 time or 2 times sometime your salary.
Right.
And so you can get that on your spouse, right? And also on yourself.
Right.
So you've been accustomed to paying that $8, $9 every 2 weeks, whatever it may be. But if you live past when you retire, so now you're retired.
Mm-hmm.
So in your retirement, your life insurance don't go with you. That belongs to the company.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets pocketed? Like you would want their contributions throughout the year?
No, that's wrong.
No, that was a group policy. You're
That
no
was a
longer
group
part of the
policy. You're no longer
part of the group.
policy anymore.
You're on your own now.
You're on your own because you done. You retired.
Right.
You ain't clocking in no more.
Right.
Well, we ain't providing no benefits for you no more.
Not
So
for
now we can get some insurance, maybe 40, 50,000, right? But when we mentioned it to you 17 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
we said, hey, you should always have insurance outside of your job, and you want to get it when you're younger.
That's it.
Because
That's
for
right.
everybody,
So cheap. Yeah.
with insurance, the moment you cross 50,
Mm-hmm.
your insurance doubles.
Yeah.
So in other words, while you was 48, you better get it.
Right.
So you better get that $500,000 or whatever it is, that you may pay $89 for. But once you cross 50, your insurance now for that same policy
Mm-hmm.
is going to go up because insurance is age driven.
Correct.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and so you got to get involved into your investment. All you entrepreneurs out there who claim you're making all this money,
Mm-hmm.
here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I remember 2006,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when the market crashed, right?
Right. It was 2008.
And people lost
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
401ks and everything just crumbled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just went down. So keep those things in mind. You got to stay involved
Mm-hmm.
because it's your business to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So no more. I'm too busy. No more financials are too confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you got people who can help you, right?
Right.
No more. Especially these people here. These are stringless security people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After a while, your bad financial decisions gonna catch up with you. All right. Right now, you may have a flux of money that can cover your bad financial decisions, but stay with the father system. A lack of knowledge about money and those things, it's gone. Wow, we got too much information around here. Information highway, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
We got information highway. So No more of those excuses, right?
Mhm.
Let me ask you this question because everybody has one. Take me to the next one, please. Everybody has one. What is your financial personality,
Mhm.
you think? What is your financial personality? So when you are planning for your retirement, yeah, that can be difficult, right?
Mhm.
It can be difficult. Yeah. But you got to know what your personality is.
Right.
We all got a personality,
Mhm.
right? So are you a spender? And here's the deal. Ain't nothing wrong with either one of these. You trying to identify what the problem is,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So if you're a spender, every month there's nothing left. You're living paycheck to paycheck, and also a little put away for retirement or emergency fund. You are living for today and today only.
Mhm.
And some of that, you know, I get into that funk mode sometimes myself. I ain't worried about tomorrow. I take care of what I'm doing today, right?
Mhm.
So are you a spender? Are you too busy?
Hmm.
Are you too busy? Who has the time to plan for the future, Thomas? Who has the time to do that? Well, you got to find time to do it, right? Because it will catch up on you,
Mhm.
and before you know it, well, you're behind the eight ball,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So are you over analytical? I see these smart people like this every day. They are so smart.
Hmm.
You hear me? They analyze, they got all the softwares to help spreadsheets, and they got everything, but they ain't gonna do that.
Hmm.
Right? So they got you overanalyze things too much.
Mhm.
Right? And then you got those ready, fire, aim folks. Let's do
Mhm.
it. Right? Let's do it. So they has the money, but they want the shortcuts.
Mhm.
There is no shortcuts to long-term financial success.
Mhm.
All right? No shortcut. They don't do any any research. They post it. How many of you know that we can all be like that? How many of you really have seen a commercial on TV that made you go get it?
Yeah. Mhm.
You sit home one day and you was hungry. You were sitting there.
So it's a food.
There you go.
Old,
Now that Chipotle commercial with the guac they make fresh every day.
you go there and guess what? They ain't got.
They didn't have it.
Uh,
I'm like, really?
That's your mouth all fixed up.
I know.
Are you walking through the mall, right? Just mind your business, just looking around. And somebody come up and say, you see this sale, 3 for $10. But it's today only,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you gotta learn some things, and it'll help you
Mm-hmm.
later on with bigger deals
Mm-hmm.
that may come your way as it relates to either buying a car, buying a house,
Right.
and to those things, and being impulsive. Because I don't operate well when I gotta make a decision like right now. You know, I need to, yeah, I need to do some research first before. Now, if you gotta sell it, you can go ahead and sell it. But if you're still around when I'm ready, then we can talk, right?
Mhm.
And then we have these concise, these precise, focused acts. They have a plan, they follow the proper steps, they have a budget, they have goals, they're focused, they're deliberate, and they walk as they talk. This is where you want to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? We want to have that goal, we want to be. So you got to know where you're at.
Right.
How many spenders we have? Ain't none of y'all spenders?
I'm over there.
You're over, I already know that. I already know that. You too. y'all already over that level. Right.
I'm a mixture.
Yeah, you can be.
So that I have my moments where I am a spender, but I'm also, I'll do like, okay, say it's like the weekend, and I go through my, banking. Okay, I spent this, and that's that. So I'll cut myself off, and then I'll go to like I don't know, maybe analytical, maybe concise, like, I'll basically discipline myself, okay, a lot of it comes down to like if I'm visiting family, or if, treating myself, or like whoever I'm with, I'll do that, and then I kind of get after myself for doing that, if that makes sense. So I
Because you're sidetracked.
Because I was
Because
like,
one
no.
comes, you don't want to spend a little too much.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, you know what, you done did it, it's over with, so now you're gonna have to wait for all the other things that you wanted, you're gonna have to wait.
Right,
Yeah.
So,
right.
And we're gonna help in all these areas. We're gonna help. Wealth building, right? This is what we all want to be, right? We all want to do, don't we? We want to wealth build. But how many of you know that wealth building is eroded by debt?
Mm-hmm.
Debt kills whatever dreams or
Right.
having.
Yep.
There's too much debt. So we're going to talk a little bit about getting debt free.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That has a definition of being debt free.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk a little bit about that. How many of you, y'all probably know, y'all young crowd in here, healthcare expenses
Mm-hmm.
drive more people back to work
Yeah.
than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
They retire at 57, 58, some of corporate people, right? But they did not consider the health care.
Well, they didn't know it was gonna keep going up. I mean, it's just going crazy. So I have several friends of mine that retired. They went back to work because they said their health insurance is killing them.
Because now, individual plan, that plan could run you $1,400 to $1,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, whoa, hold on.
Right.
My pension and my retirement just ain't cutting it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So healthcare by itself, because you can't get on Medicare
Right.
until you what?
65.
65 or have a disability. Right? So you got to now pay because you're no longer with your company,
Mm-hmm.
which is picking up half of that cost,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the next thing to do, what you can do is you could get with me and then we could get and take you to the marketplace.
Right.
And see can we get you a subsidy. So a lot of retirees don't realize that they can get a subsidy from that 62 or 60, whenever they retire, on up until they're 65 years old, because you're not making the type of money you were making when you was working.
Right.
All right? So healthcare expenses, and then inflation. What do you think about inflation? How can that play a part in your retirement?
They living's going up.
Daily living, right?
Everything. Everything.
The dollar stores ain't no more dollar stores.
No.
No.
They need to change it, change the slogan.
$5 though.
I know.
Yeah, they ain't the dollar store. They slick though, but they are the $10 store.
But our money that's coming in not increasing. The
Right,
price of
it's
stuff.
90%. And so you can argue and you can fuss about getting a raise on your job, but basically all you're doing is basically sometimes just covering the cost
Mm-hmm.
of living.
Increasing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, let me help people. It ain't gonna go down.
Right. Right.
We are on a trajectory track.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's not gonna go down. I don't care who you put in that Oval Office.
I know.
No matter how much they fly. I've been around here through many presidents.
The same thing.
And I've seen, man, we would pull up there in Georgia to the gas station. People would come out And pump your gas only 79 cents a gallon. Don't have to get the car.
Right.
They clean your windows and walk around, kick the tires while the thing is pumping for you.
Gone.
And then you take it out and say, all right, you good, this ain't there. Go on. Right. Them days is what?
Gone.
We ain't back to no 79 cents. No matter how much, listen, it's hard for me to get out to 200 pounds. Every time I get down to, oh boy, I got down to go. 5 more, jump back on me, right?
Right.
It's hard. It's we ain't going backwards, people. We going forward.
Right.
And you got to deal with it.
Right.
And you got to prepare for it.
Right.
And this is what we are teaching the Church of the Lord Jesus Christ to do. Always be moving ahead. Didn't he tell us that this ain't our home anyway?
No.
Right. So what you get left from me ought to be a blessing to you.
Right.
And then taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Taxes ain't gonna stop this.
No.
Why? See, why are these things ain't gonna ever end like this?
America going. I mean, it's society. It's
But it's a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called?
greed. Well,
That's it. Greed. That's why they never go back. Because it is greed. What was the lady 2016 proved that? Where she had the medicine that could help people, and the price of her medicine was very cheap, let's say $20. But during that period, she raised it up to almost $400-500. What was that?
That was
greed.
great, for sure.
That's why things won't ever stop, because of the hardness of man's heart. It is greed. They want more. They want more. They want more.
It's never
They want
enough.
more.
It's never
So,
enough. Yeah.
We are heading for the end, right? Where that horse gonna show up at your door. If you show up at your door slamming,
I ain't gonna be him.
I know, right?
and lying,
Gotta worry about it.
so you look for me, and I'm gone. That's what that old song is. Now let's talk about this for a second. For most people, Social Security is your only source of income.
Yep.
Right? Now, let me ask you this question here so that you guys can see. I told you guys about the military, but I also forgot Social Security. Social Security don't already pass too. See, while we
Worried about. But they got eyes over here.
That's right.
They doing something.
That's
else.
right. That's right. Well, they got your eyes on him.
Yeah.
That right there don't already pass. Okay. Now you think about this for a second. I want you to think about this for a second. With all the things that happen to our bodies, right? If you were born 1960, right? What's your full retirement age? 67.
Yeah.
Right? That's your full retirement age, right? That means that you get 100%, right?
Right.
Of your Social Security, right? So whatever that may be,
Right.
based upon what you have made.
Right.
So for all your years you've gotten paid
Under the table.
under the table,
Which a lot of them don't.
it's gonna tell
Yep.
right here, right? Okay, so that's 67. Look at 66. Look at 7. What year you born?
92.
Oh Lord.
$1,000,000.
Oh Lord. You ain't got no Social Security. You got to work till you 90. So now you see why we share and we talk about this. We talk about this so that you can apply
Right.
and have some other retirement strategies
That's
in
right.
place.
That's right.
Right? Now, guess what happens? You say, like Manny says, I don't care what I get, I'm gonna retire, I'm gonna get my Social Security at 62. Well, that's great, but you're gonna lose
Mm-hmm.
25 to 30% of what you could have got.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't pick it back up?
Nope.
You can't, once
Nope.
you,
Once you
Once
tap
you-
into it, that's it.
once,
You locked
once you
in.
accept it, that's it.
You locked in.
That rule
Mm-hmm.
went out 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't it something about you can choose yours or your spouse or something when it comes?
Yeah, you can do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still.
But it's still called strategy.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because like my, one of my workers, she had, part-time and her husband passed. So she decided she was gonna get some tax benefits.
Yeah.
She was, work, or she went part-time. Well, like, you decided, I need to go back full-time. It's not working, you know, so she ended up coming back up to me full-time.
So this is how that look like.
So,
And she said
So let's say you too.
she was able to stop
Mm-hmm.
receiving his benefits for those, after those few months because it wasn't working for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
able to stop it.
Yeah, she was able to stop it. Yeah, they never stopped it, but
So typically how that works is,
Mm-hmm.
you would think both of us work,
Mm-hmm.
right? Hypothetically.
Mhm.
All right. So let's say Zora made more than Zora. Let's say you got, now that's not, yeah, I'm a kill. Okay. So you guys are roughly about the same age.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe 1-2 years difference. So now y'all got to strategize.
Right.
Who gonna work the longest? Well, you go to ssa.gov
Mm-hmm.
and you make sure you register and put your username and password in there. So that you can see
Right.
who's gonna make the most money.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say you gonna make, in your full retirement age, $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim is gonna make $15,000. You both don't get your full retirement.
Sure don't.
Huh?
Nope.
but I work.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mhm.
Is it because they're married and their
Because
spouses?
they're married.
Because they're married.
So here's what's gonna happen.
I'm a divorce.
This is-
No, I got a friend that did that. Yes.
Go back and
Yes.
say
so
something.
you got to decide who's gonna
Get the full.
get the full.
That's right. So you wanna look at the person because you can only get half
That's right.
of out of yours
Mhm.
or half of hers.
Right.
Now, her half gonna be 15.
Mm-hmm.
Your half is gonna be 700
Mm-hmm.
because you're only making $1,500.
Right.
So that's called strategy.
Right.
So now you got to say, well, baby, we're gonna have to wait till you retire. You need to go to your full retirement age so that we can get the most money into retirement.
Right.
Because for 80% of people, Social Security is all they get.
Yep.
So then if you're married, you're gonna go out, do your research, you're gonna decide, you're gonna go with the husband's.
Whoever got the most.
Well, that's right.
So then now he's retired at full retirement age.
Mhm.
The check is split into two,
Almost.
almost.
Well, he'll still get his full retirement.
He'll get his,
Yeah, he'll still get his $3,000.
and
But you can either get half of his
Yours.
or yours,
Right.
half of his.
or half of yours.
Yeah.
You don't get your full.
But,
Both y'all gonna get your full.
so if I get half of his, he get half, he get his full. Does that make sense?
So is he still gonna get his full if she get half of it?
They gonna get his
Oh,
full.
so then I can, so.
Here's the difference. So y'all are bringing in 3,000 plus the 1,500.
4,500.
So that's 4,500.
Right.
Okay.
So you're not going to be able to get his 3,000
And
and your full retirement, which let's say was 2,800.
Right, okay.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So
So
now,
then you decide who half is more.
who half is more?
Mhm.
It's called strategy. Now, a lot of people, that's what they do. They give divorce.
Yep.
Now, we ain't gonna do that because we ain't trying to strategize. We ain't gonna do that. We should save some money, right? Although the temptation. Now, if I was teaching this down there in public feature, it may be a little different.
I'm telling you, I already know somebody.
Depends on where you're at. But these are the things that you got to think about. I'm giving you this information you to think about, so you understand. And on top of that, you know, if you take it early, so what would be the reason why you would take it early?
Sick.
It could be, that's right. You just need it. You don't have any other assets
Right.
to be able to wait, you know, till you're 66 or 67 and a half and all that stuff, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
So why is the full retirement age going up as the years go by? So like, for instance, myself, right, I'm born in 92. Why is it 73? You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that.
Because what they're predicting
Mhm.
is that Social Security is going to dry up, it's gonna go away.
Right.
So they're trying to extend the years out.
Hopefully they gonna live that long.
That's right.
Well, if you think about it,
Yeah.
you got more people entrepreneurial now, and they're not putting
They're not
money
putting
into
any-
Social
well, they put
Security,
money into it
but not
once they file their taxes.
Not as
a
much.
lot
Well,
of
not as
them
much as
are. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And so it's gonna dry up. Now, us baby boomers, we've already been in there, and we've been there, done that. So we got our FICA coming out, and we're gonna get, you know, reap the rewards of that. But for those who are, you know, everybody entrepreneurial now, and they're not putting money away, they're not putting savings away, they're not putting retirement away, they're not nothing. They're not doing. They're just living for the moment.
And your social security amount is based off of something with your
Your
salary. How that
your
works?
40 credit hours, you
Right.
get so much, and it's based upon your income.
Right.
But your income when?
Yeah, like when you
They-
start working.
So
Yeah,
it's-
they'll take your highest
Right.
Okay.
40 years, and that's what they will calculate that by to give you what your dollar amount would be.
Your highest in
Right.
that 40
Yeah.
years.
Right.
Okay.
And they have that on there and tell you that on ssa.gov.
And your ex-spouse, if they want to take half of your Social Security instead of theirs, they can. If they're not married, it don't matter. If they're not married, if they haven't remarried,
Oh,
they
yeah.
can, yeah, they can
But
take
yeah, they-
whichever is higher.
But
You know what I'm saying?
isn't the year, is
No,
it
it
certain
has
amount
to
of
be,
years?
that's
Oh,
like
I'm at
10
5.
years.
But I'm saying if it's higher, so if he was only supposed to get $700, but then you made 3,000, he would get half of yours, which would be 15. So he can get that 15 instead of 700.
It doesn't matter? I mean, when I say it doesn't matter,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter how many years you married?
No, it's an ex, as long as they have not remarried.
Don't have
Oh,
remarried.
he need to stay single. He railroad. I need to
All right,
stay
so
single.
now let's talk about it. Now you see why this stuff is so important, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So now when we get to here, are y'all gonna listen to me now? Now, what we gotta do now? We got the budget. These are the 5 components that's gonna help us.
Do you have this in the sheet?
Yeah.
I keep writing stuff down. It's not a write. I'm drawing.
So-
circles.
Now, how many of y'all got budgets?
I have a budget.
We gonna help you with your budget,
Right.
right? Let's talk about what do you think we mean by short-term savings?
Like, something you save for a short period of time, like.
Yeah, like just having a normal savings account, right?
Or
Emergency
if
fund, right?
we're trying to plan to, like, say you wanna build a fence, it's like, okay, let's start saving for that. So
Yeah.
we can-
Just a normal
Yeah.
short term where you can go and get money, where you don't have to wait, you know, to be able to get it, right? So what is your long-term savings? Like what? Like your 401k, right? Like your 403b, depends on you, your teacher, like your annuities, whether it's a fixed annuity, index annuity, right? So those are your long-term investments, right? So how many of us wants to live debt free? Yeah. All right, then we got the plan to live debt free, right? And then retirement. So now here's all these things that's going to happen, right? So these are what we call our nucleus. This is our game plan. Now, one of the things that we gotta have an emergency fund, right? So we talk about fund. There are some accounts that you can put, $50, $100 into that you can use to get the interest that you want. And you can use that fund. Back in the day, I started with share builders. I think Capital One bought share builders. So now it's Capital One, but that's where I put my emergency funds there. And so I have that automatically going into that account weekly. And so that's where that's going. Now at my local bank, I have 3 accounts, checking account, and then I got 2 savings accounts, right? Because we talk about this, we want you to have fun, right? So we still want you to live, so that's what that account is for. Everything what we're doing now is going to be exposable, right, to the eye, right? That means that we're going to watch every dollar that we have. And so we'll put in that money into that account. We may have what we call a big ticket item. That's why I recommend either ViStar or Jack's Federal, because they'll give you those 3 or 4 accounts. And then you can use each one for that. But you want to have those, how much you put in it, $5 each. You just need to have it and you need to start it, right? So there are reasons why we would, several reasons why we want to start our emergency. Yeah, you go to the next one. You got to catch up with me. I'm already past that. All right, right there. Well, because there's always going to be unforeseen life situations. We was doing great, and then they would come, oh, the refrigerator's acting up. Like, I ain't a refrigerator guy, right? So I got to call Sears Home and Appliance, right? So now that's $200. So something don't happen, they got to change that stuff. Unforeseen things, right? Job loss, sickness, car accident, layoff. Just starting a business, right? We started our business, TJ Insurance Agency. We started that debt free. We own all of our equipment, all of our stuff. We can walk away, don't owe nobody. And then maybe you just want to be a blessing to somebody, right? But your money is there calculated where it needs to be, okay? So these are some of the reasons why we must start a emergency fund account. You can use whatever bank that you want to use. I just share with you who I use. I use Capital One because I can't get to the money fast. I have to request it back. So it may take a day or 2 before we get it back. And so it depends on you. You say do what's best for you, but have it.
And as part on being a blessing, you have a set amount of money because we know people gonna come to us. Okay, there's no question about it. But you have that set amount and say, hey, this is all I'm going to give out this month or this week, however you come up with that number. And once that is done, that's it. We cannot keep giving out money that month. You see what I'm saying? So you set a number of how you're gonna be a blessing to somebody.
You're talking about almost like a payment. Now, being a blessing, it just when you every month, this is what we're gonna give.
No, not give it. I'm saying if a situation, because we're talking about emergency, when people may have an emergency, like you said, somebody tired or whatever, but you have that set amount of money that you'll be able to help somebody with. But once you use that set amount of money, then you're not able to help.
I know
That-
what you're saying, like,
Yeah.
if it gets to that point, if it gets to where you're maxing out your budget for that.
Yeah, because people can keep coming to you. You see what I'm saying? You can't just keep giving.
Well, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. I just didn't get, the part where you maximize this month and then we start over the next month. No, that's not for the, I'm not starting an emergency fund for other people. I'm starting it for me.
right,
Like if I got a flat tire,
right,
how many have flat tires unexpectedly?
right.
I've rode around and prayed for a week and a half. Lord, don't let that tire go down. Knowing that nail is in that tire, right? But only thing, the discomfort was just, man, and I got to stop. I got to get the tire fixed. It's just a matter of going into the account and bringing that money over,
Right.
right? So that's what the emergency fund is for. And also, you can be a blessing to somebody. Right? So that's from time to time, right? So on your sheet there, you should have your budget, right?
Mhm.
And I know this is gonna take some work, it's gonna take some effort right here, right? Most people get, this works if you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or whatever the case may be. Can I get that package? Your package? You looking at your package?
It's no, I can, it's no.
So you're bi-weekly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, this may take, let me see. This will
Mm-hmm.
effort. Okay? Because this is how your budget ought to be and ought to look like. Right? So this is what we call the 90-10 steward. Right? I love, therefore I give. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now here's the difference than what we teach. That if I was teaching this, I wouldn't change this if I was teaching at a corporation. Right? So according to Psalm 24:1, how much does God own?
100%.
They own all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So based upon what He allowed us to have, that's why church is up there first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, most corporations, people that may not believe in giving to a church, but they'll give to United Way, they'll give to the Red Cross, they'll give to others. They still understand the benefit of giving.
Right.
So now I've given to God because God wants to be where?
First.
That's right. He wants to be number one,
Right.
right? Then the second people I give to is who?
Yourself.
You got to give to yourself.
Right.
That's why you got savings. That could be your 401k, you giving into that. That could be your annuity. That could be your emergency fund that you need, right?
Right.
You give it to yourself. Why are you giving to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Be able to help.
Well, so you ain't tempted to take off. That's why. So you give to yourself. So when the tempter comes,
Mm-hmm.
you say, you know what, God, you don't need that. I remember when we first started doing this, I can remember where I was. I think Bishop Jakes had taught a series on God returning on the dime.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, when me and my wife, what her name is, Sarita, was pastoring the church over there in West Virginia, he says, I was faithful, right? He said, I was a faithful giver.
Mm-hmm.
He said, it wasn't hard being a faithful giver, giving $20 a month, right? But he says, then we got called to the church in Dallas. And that $2,000 or $3,000 became tempting. Right? But now he's making more money, right? So now he's tempting to take what belongs to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, now Lord, look here, that's a lot of money I'm giving to the church. And the Lord said, I tell you what you do then. You give me all of it. And then he said, oh no, Lord, I'm going to be that team. Right. So that's the temptation. Now, when we talk about others, who are others? Yeah, what's up with this time, man? Who are others? Who is others?
Your mortgage, your creditors.
Are you
Yeah.
still on savings?
Hmm?
I'm confusing.
Yeah, so we passed savings, right?
You got your mortgage.
So we've already given to the Lord.
Right.
We're already saved, so we gave to ourselves. Now we got to give to others.
Right.
Who is others?
Mortgage company.
Yeah. But what happens and what messes us up is that we turn that way and bring that from the top and we bring that down. And so now others have become number one, right? Because even when we were getting our house, Tara made more money than me. So we got the house off of my income, which was a low amount, right? So why? They said, well, but you can get more of a house if you, no. Why? But we still got to live. We still trying to put money up and aside, and we're not going to take two incomes and taking 43% of that income onto one thing, right? So we always kept the same structure: church, savings, and then others. That's the biblical way of getting out of the debt, right here. You got to place the Lord where He needs to be. Now, have time gotten tough in our household? All the time. I don't know how we pay for a lot of stuff that we pay for. It's by the grace of the Lord. You know, if I can take away everybody's insurance that we pay for, you know, we can have more and more money in our household. But that's where you have to set it up. And the only thing about it is the top two don't change. It's just where you need to place the others at to be able to make those payments. And now, what do you think that would do if we adopt the right format? This format. What do you think this would do?
Be less stressed.
You'll be way less stressed, because guess what? Now you ain't out there buying that house off of your 100%. Yeah. Because now you are considering. Didn't the Bible tell us that? Consider the ant.
Yeah.
You
Sucker. Yeah.
They ain't got no guide, no nothing, but they sure know how to get that there and work.
That's
So
right.
they show all out there. So that's all. This budget works. It works. This is the budget we've lived by since we have been together. I'm almost done. Debt free. All right, we're gonna go through debt free, but this is how we're gonna go through debt free. On your sheet there, you should have a creditor debt elimination sheet right behind there. Now on this sheet, I thought I had these in order.
You don't see it?
Oh, right there, okay. So you got your creditor debt elimination sheet, right? This is what you have to do. You got the list. You may have to make copies of some of these. This just gets you started. But this becomes the picture now, because we're building now, right? So list all of your creditors. List your beginning balance, right? Whatever your balance is. You want to list the minimum payment that you pay. All right. Then you wanna list your interest rate, whatever the interest rate may be. And then you wanna list the time frame. No, not time frame. You wanna list what you actually paid, right? So your minimum could be 45, but yeah, I paid 60, right?
Mhm.
Then you wanna list the time frame, because all, or at least all, where they close and opening accounts give you a time frame. If you got a credit card, they say, well, if you keep making this payment, this is how long it's gonna take. And then you put that in there for your time frame, right? Because now what we're doing is, we are now putting our faith, we're putting our feet to faith right now, right? Now we're getting ready to expose the devil and says, hey, I'm writing everything out, I'm putting everything down because I want to be done with this stuff, right?
Mhm.
So list these things down. And then we're going to devise a plan to now structure to get you out of there. Okay?
Mhm.
So, so this right here will be your debt elimination. Philippians 4:13, I can do,
All things.
yeah,
through Christ.
which, because we're gonna need some strength
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, because it ain't easy. It's not easy, but it's doable.
Mhm.
And I used to have this sheet here, even in my office, right now, if you come to my office today, it's right there. I write things down, and I says, all right, here's how I'm limited this here. And I got 6 months to get this one done, and when I'm done with that one, I'm taking this one to get. And so if you gotta have it. It has to be written down. It's got to be in plain sight, right?
But we gotta make sure that what we have on here
Mhm.
is reflected back on this sheet too.
Oh, it will.
That we got to make sure that they're balancing each other.
That's why you gotta have it. You gotta write it down so
Mhm.
you will know, okay, if this one is due here and here, so I may need to put change. So it's gonna take some effort, right?
Mhm.
So it's gonna take some work. Now, all of you, again, as I say, are going to get a email. That email that you get from me today will give you, if, it's not if you do it, because nobody here is still in the pre-contemplating mode.
That's right.
We've all been terminated, right?
Mhm.
So we're gonna do this. So the sheet that the email you will get from me today is going to give you a bigger picture of where you're at, right? And then that's gonna be the guide to help get to where you wanna go, all right? So now the next one is tracking. How many of you, when do you track your spending? Do you track your spending the day it happens, or do you track your spending a couple of days later,
When it happens.
when it happens?
Like
Yeah.
that day, so like for me, like if I know I swipe my card, it's like, okay, $80.
So do you have a,
XYZ, again,
where do you track it at?
on my online banking.
Okay. All right, so your tracking for the next 30 days, you're gonna track your money.
Mhm.
Okay? What are we trying to do?
See where our money going.
See where our money going.
Yep.
And how it adds up.
And then what can we do? That's right. What can we do to say, okay, you didn't have to do that. I've done that many, many times, right?
And also to find the extra money to jumpstart your debt elimination.
That's right.
So that if you're already paying 50, you don't found $50 or $100, now you're gonna take that money that you found and put it with that so you can eliminate that debt quicker.
Yes, it's no loss.
So that's what I want you to track it. When we started doing this, it was rough for us because what we decided to do were we could only get $25 a week. So if you spent your $25 on Monday, that's your problem for the week. That was it. So you had to be very strategic on how you're going to spend that $25. But we had a goal in mind, which was getting out of debt. Okay, when you take 25, I take 25. Now when you're done with that, don't come back. you know. So, but you gotta put these things into place, and then we started tracking it, right? This is how our trackage slips, I wish we had some of the green trackage slips, but anyway, did we get that patent?
We applied for the patent.
With Black. But that's what happened. When we started getting out of debt, and I would say, hey, I don't see your receipts, right? So I come home and she'll have 5 or 6 stickers on the computer, like, there you go, you want some stickers. There you go. And so through that, we created the trackage slip. So we started, okay, hey, let's track our expenses and see what's happening. Yeah, because that's the only way. If God never left us the written word, good Lord, we couldn't see our way.
Right.
So thank the Lord for the written word. So your 30-day tracker, so we can kind of see what that's going to happen. And then your spending category, right? So your spending category is there for you to give you an idea of the percentage of your money that you need to be into. So you need to go in there and you need to look at your money and say housing, we say 25 to 40%. So that's where you want to be at, right? Food, 5 to 15%, clothing, transportation, all that good stuff. So this kind of gives you an idea of where you want to be. You don't want to be in the high end.
Right.
You want to start working yourself down to the low end of those percentages. And this will help you do that. Okay? Then the next thing is called holiday happiness. How many of you forgotten somebody's birthday on purpose? So there you go. So it's called what? Holiday happiness, right? So this right here says to you and to me, I know when everybody's birthday that I plan on giving something to.
Graduations. Yeah.
So what are we doing? We know where our money's going now, right? We know where we're gonna allocate that to go to. So we call it holidays. If you don't show up on there, you just didn't make the cut. You get a card and maybe a couple dollars in there, right? So, and the reason why we do that is so that you know where your money is going right now. We ain't got time to be wasting time. We're trying to save for retirement. Then your personal financial balance sheet. Now you'll be able to see how much assets you have versus your liability will give you now your net worth, right? So, these are things that will help. So I want today to give you that so you can make some copies of that. Then later on today, you will get the email and then you would fill. I believe you can do it inside.
It's a spreadsheet.
It's a spreadsheet, so you don't have to print it, anything. You can just click on it, fill it out, type it in, and then send it on back, right? So.
Oh, and send it back.
Yeah, because what that's gonna do,
Hold your
time, go and say, hey, where that thing at? You still ain't got that? Oh, we need to up that there. We need to up that 401k from that little 2% that you put in. Oh, that's got to be up. Yeah. So you plan on, listen, there are folk, let's say military wise, right? There are folk that, have you ever asked yourself, why do people like captains and commanders and rear admirals,
Why do they like that?
why do they retire and then go back to work?
They have a plan.
They ain't got a plan. Not only do they have a plan, right? They need that money. although they getting a
Mm-hmm.
good monthly, depends on where you're at. You probably retire in between $10,000 to $15,000 a month, and probably not even including your, VA, So they can make a, pretty, but I found to be where they have the money, but they don't have the plan in place, right? And then you'll take somebody who may retire as a, E6 or chief or senior chief, and they'll have a plan. Right? So that's what we want to look at, that plan, right? So my nephew right now is he probably one step from. I told him, I said I know you ain't gonna, but he's almost a full colonel, and so he signed up to a couple months ago. Was like, hey, I'm retired. I was like, hey, well, I said, let me ask you a question then. Are you going to retire and get a job, or are you going to retire? Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're almost a full bird colonel.
That's Army.
That's Army.
What is that? E8, E9?
No. Oh.
Oh, you're old.
Yeah. So you're 05, 06.
Okay.
So I said, now if you're going to get out and retire, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to get out and then go back to work for the Pentagon, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
I said, just stay where you're at. I mean, you're base commander, so just stay where you're at.
Right.
Right. That don't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Retire and get a job. I said, you got a job.
Mm-hmm.
So keep those things in mind. But the reason why those decisions are hard is because we don't have a plan in place.
Mm-hmm.
So over the years, people may make the money, but they ain't got the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to help us. And today is going to be that foundation. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, especially tonight when you get that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know I should have listened to Pastor. All that stuff you put that stuff up. You put it on there because you got to create a plan, and you got to see your picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got to see your picture. What's the next one? Next Saturday, we're going to be talking about pre-retirement income. So next Saturday, we're going to go more into diversification planning, which will be retirements, annuities, 401ks, fixed, index,
IULs.
all that type of stuff there. So, and then the fourth Saturday, because we're going to skip the third Saturday, then the fourth Saturday, we're going to be talking about the estate planning. We're going to be talking about, because again, as we say, people are dying unexpectedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it happens, there's no will. So when we're talking about a will, we're talking about how you put somebody on your checking account other than yourself. So what you got in there don't go to probate. Because once the banks find out that you did and you ain't got nobody in the account, they're going to shut that account down.
Shut it down.
And then nobody won't be able to get anything from that account, right? So we've been talking about wills, and we've been talking about how to buy tax deed properties, where to go, how sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all come together, right? Create and then how to look at that and purchase some properties that you can possibly sell that can help lift everybody out of debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that, the power of teamwork. So all that stuff is going to be going down, right? How to get past probate. Because probate can be an expensive, long-term fight.
It is expensive.
So if you don't know about probate, if, say for instance, so you got family, because all our families spread all around, right? So you got a house, especially the primary house. Oh, and another thing before I say that, you know how we found out that Terry Lane was on the deed downtown? We was doing the will. So we were doing our will, and so we went to the COJ.net and we pulled up our house just to make sure that she was on the deed. And lo and behold, guess what? We had the package from the mortgage company, from Rocket Mortgage. We both signed, but they didn't record.
Nope.
Right? So we would thank God I'm still alive, was able to catch it, because if not, then she was like, well, you know what, let me sell this home and give you some money. And realized she couldn't sell it. So now that house got to go in probate.
Mhm.
Now they got to, in probate, you got to go back and find what? All the children,
Good Jesus.
right?
A probate, like it's like owned by the state and then everybody, all the family has to come to an agreement or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so probate is the state courts that settles all property matters.
Right.
So that means that you have to go, and now they got to let everybody know, hey, you know, you got a part of this if you want it, right? So for instance, you know, you've been there taking care of mama and daddy, and now all of a sudden you want to sell the house, realize you can't sell it unless you involve everybody in it. So that's the situation
It's a mess.
that you find yourself into. And then you mess around and find out that there's some other kids you ain't know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
And now they all want a piece of the pie.
Yep. Yes, they did.
So, but you didn't know nothing about it. Right? That's what we're at right now. We're dealing with a situation just like that. Everybody come out to work, one piece at a time. So you got to the term where you say, you know what? Ain't nothing. Because it's very expensive. It's very expensive because the probate attorneys up front.
Yep. Thousands front.
So get the will put in place.
Better get that will put in place, and if you got a checking account, you got anything on it, make sure somebody's on that account that, you know, you could trust. I had a good friend of mine, his wife she just died. She died at a hospital, taking care of her sister. But after that happens, they go on through the accounts and realize that it was like sometimes we save for Christmas or so. So she had one of those type of accounts, but she only had her name on it. Let's say she only had like $1,000 into it. And you're gonna spend $4,000 to get $1,000?
You slid it right out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right.
So like, for instance, like my accounts, it would be smart to have like my husband or, you know, on my account.
Yeah.
Just in case.
That's right. Yeah, like I had Vashtar for years, but we've always used Tex Federal. And I came in because she had her account known to me.
Right.
But then we realized, oh, hey, my $5 over there at Vashtar is important. Okay, you can do something. All right. So we went over to Vashtar and we put her onto that account. Of course, they try to be slick and open up another account because that's what they do. They try to open up another account, and they gave her an account too. But that's not the point. Yeah, put somebody on that account if you're putting money into that account.
They don't have to be connected. For an example, my son and I both have Five-Star, but our accounts are not connected, Lord knows.
No,
So, but I can put him on my account just in case.
Yeah.
He put me on his, but they don't have to be.
they don't have to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Connected, or they don't have to have.
They don't have to have
access.
assets. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So that's how my brother, I had put him on mine, but we weren't connected at all. All accounts were connected.
To make one thing, to make
I've had so many accounts over the years, like in Georgia where my mother was, so I went down there, became, opened with account there, so that I could handle, some of her business. So, you just have to have people on the account, because if not, nobody will be able to get that money. And lo and behold, if they have any paycheck going into there, like Social Security, or Social Security like a hound dog. Because it depends on when you tell them that that this person's no longer living,
You shut it
and
down.
boy, and they
Quick.
don't win, you don't win it. They got another Social Security check coming in, but they be like hound dogs. Well, they shut them accounts down fast.
That's right. Then the bank shut it right behind it.
They sure will.
Yeah.
So we've had that happen many times.
Yeah, because with my mom account, mine wasn't on there, but I had a power of attorney, but they already had done shut it down. And they were saying I couldn't get the money out of it, but because she had like automated payment set up to pay for insurances for my brothers, I just let it ride out and kept paying, till all the money went out. But they wouldn't let me get it. Mm-hmm.
So those are things we're gonna look at on the fourth. So things sometimes we may not think about, but that will be important. Snoop and her sister and Mimi, his mother just passed, and he find himself into that same thing now. A house is before.
Yep, she just paid in full July.
Live-in boyfriend of 17 years wants the house. His name is on the checking account, I believe.
No,
His
No.
name on
it ain't named nothing. His name ain't on nothing.
it. And,
No.
but guess what happened? She ain't got no will. So what you gotta do?
Probate
Yeah,
lawyer.
probate.
Yeah.
Will that 26th session be recorded?
Yeah.
Because I won't be here.
Okay.
That's a record. Yeah. So, we're gonna take this show on the road and start going to different churches and, cause I get so many pastors calling me, oh, can you come over? It's like, and then when I call them, guess what stage they in? Pre-contemplating stage. I'm like, when you call me,
Right.
when can we make this happen? Now I gotta get them through the pre-contemplating stage, to the contemplating stage, to the, it's okay, let's set a date, man, let's get this thing right in the road, right? What you tired of paying for burial.
They're too busy, like I said, too busy.
Yeah, too busy to do
Yeah.
that.
I have a question. So I know all these workshops, maybe in the future, if there's more workshops, I don't know if y'all had them yet already, but more of starting with business, that is something that, my husband and I do want to do, but just don't know where to start. I know
Start a
there's-
business,
Yes.
okay, what type of business?
So I know that my husband wants to do like aircraft detailing. And I went to school for business admin, so I know like we have to like advertise and be different and all that other stuff, and like have an LLC, but we just don't know like how to really where to put our investment in that to start it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what is the starting point to create a business?
So what's the name of your business?
We don't have a name yet. Is that the start?
That's
Get
a
a
start.
name, okay,
All I do is get a name,
okay.
okay? State of Florida, sunbiz.org.
Sunbiz,
Sunbiz.
B-I-Z.
BIZ.org. Okay, so what you want to do is, once you know your name of your company, you got to go there, and then you need to put that name in to make sure nobody else have that name.
okay,
Okay, so whatever you want to call your business, something similar to what you guys are doing.
Right.
And then once you do that, then when nobody has that name, then you got to file for that name. Okay, it's a simple process. I can walk you guys through the process.
Right.
And then once that happens, you go ahead and file for your formation. And you can use your home address if y'all don't have a location. Most people, when they first start, they have to use a home address. And so now, your business is what? It's open.
Mhm.
Once you give the state their money, which is about $130, go ahead and pay it. Let them do all the formation for you. It'll be done within a little week's time. And then they'll send you articles of incorporation and all your stuff. Then the next thing you got to do is take that, because although you form your corporation, but you ain't got no business license to be doing business in the state yet. So then you got to take that formation downtown to the city. Now the city wants some money, which could be roughly for your business license, $45 to $70 a year. So you pay the city, they give you business license. You take those licenses, you put them up into your home, wherever office y'all want to use or where it's going to be. So if anybody come in, they can see your license. Then you want to take all that information there, go over to a bank and open up a business account.
You get the EIN
Yeah, EIN number first.
first.
And you can do that online, they'll get it to you within a second's time. So now you take all that paperwork, go to your bank, open up your business account, put whatever $50 in it to open up. And then now you're legit. So when people now, when y'all got business going on, or contracts, or working with the government, or however the case may be, so they're gonna want you to have a business. And so now the income will come into that business name, which will go into you guys.
You need to create an online presence because they're gonna wanna look at you online.
Yeah.
Look at your business cards, all that kind of stuff.
And market your
flyers.
business. People won't know what you have business of unless you market it. So that's the logistics that we could help you with to get your business off the ground.
Okay.
Then every year, in October, it comes the state meeting. Every year, you got to pay $175 for a corporation instead of Florida.
Taxes.
So just know, I use that to my advantage. When my children come calling, I say, hey, from October to January, don't call me. Because we got business license. But you can file into another state. Say for instance, like Nevada, I don't think they charge anything. So different states that doesn't charge from the formation, but in the state of Florida, that's how they works. Yeah, so we can help you guys do that. And then you can market yourself. Because you have to ask yourself, who's your market?
I know what you mean, like, who are gonna be my consumers?
Right.
Right.
So.
That's gonna be military, that's gonna be airports, private, So you gotta know your market.
And then that as well.
And for as, because you're talking about cleaning plants, Washington, cleaning, yeah. So, you guys have set yourself up probably for a good government contract at some point.
Right.
Yeah, that'll be probably your best. You know, and even joining sometimes the, chamber. Go back to that first screen.
What first screen? Oh, you talking about the small and emerging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it would be great for y'all to become a member of Jacksonville Small and Emerging Business. Because what that's gonna do, of course, they want a lot of paperwork, right?
All of it. Yeah.
So they want your taxes, they want a lot of stuff. But that could be a good access.
Yeah.
Another
The main
point.
thing is just getting everything
It's
set up
just
initially.
connecting yourself to
Yeah.
the city. So, it's called the Jacksonville Small and Emerging Businesses. So,
Mhm.
yeah, you guys may think y'all wanna do, airplanes, but you also may wanna do buses. We'll see. Yeah, so, but that will be,
Well, you need to start off with just one
One
Yeah,
at first,
one
yes.
yeah,
you're just getting it going,
right, right,
and then working that, and let that work.
right.
That's
So,
right.
yeah, so you're thinking about the future, right? You're thinking about the future, hey, like, we're gonna have to leave this military at some point,
Yep.
but when y'all leave, you know, you wanna,
Another
you're either
screen.
gonna go and work for somebody, or you're gonna be working for yourself.
Mhm.
Yes.
It ain't easy.
Because we do still have time, but we just don't want to be like 2 years from retirement or whichever, and then have nothing put in place. It is something that my husband and I have been talking about. It's been about 2 years or so, but then between getting pregnant, moving, transferring, baby, all that other stuff. So now he's deployed, he don't come back till April. So I know that there's gonna be like a chunk of time and he's gone, but I can really get something as far as
In
researching,
motion.
asking all guys questions,
Mm-hmm.
you know, get a plan put in place, so like, okay, hey,
Right,
this is what we learned, we're gonna come together. This is, you know, and then I'll also as well as like networking between you two, you know, and like have like job educated and that, so that's something that we're looking towards.
Good. It's good. All right, guys. So, that's what we're at. All right, we wasn't home, but it was,
yeah. You want me